Hello, 3ABN family. Ricky Carter here. We're at 3ABN Homecoming Camp Meeting, another live video podcast. And our theme this year for this camp meeting is Kingdom Countdown. We're looking forward to Christ coming again very soon. And we are backstage doing this video podcast. We're having some testimonies that we've been sharing. We've also been doing some ministry updates. So we've got another ministry update for you. I want to introduce you to James Johnson. Welcome, brother.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. And so tell us a little bit about introduce your ministry to our viewers, and tell us a little bit about your ministry and how it's making a mission working for the Lord.
Our ministry name is
Mhm.
our ministry name is Go Amen Ministries.
Okay.
And what we do is we have several things that we actually do is to teach, go, teach, and share.
Okay.
And part of the I would say three of the main things that we focus in on is
Mhm.
one is missionary camping.
Okay.
And we
Missionary.
teach people what that is.
Okay.
The other is sanctuary studies.
Okay.
And the next is we do health and cooking
Mm.
classes.
So you can tell us a little bit about those three?
Exactly. With I would like to share first with the sanctuary studies that we do. And I will say right now, I will go and tell what one of the exciting things that I see going through this study. We do a sanctuary study that is based not like your normal sanctuary study that you would normally get,
Okay.
but it's more geared toward the family, showing our
Mm.
connection with God as Father and we as His children,
Right.
a happy home, if you
Amen.
see.
Right. Right.
And so, as the Lord had placed it upon my heart to share this sanctuary ministry with as many churches as possible. And so, one of the things that has come from this here is that we went to a church in Benton, Tennessee,
Okay.
and there was an elderly man there who was an elder. And he said this after we got into the studies. He said, "This is changing my life." He
Amen.
had
Amen.
listened to sanctuary studies before, but he said, "This one is making an effect upon my life." And
Amen.
as he said that, I was listening and I was taking it as is. Okay, that is good. That's what we're do this for.
Hmm.
But each time we came back and studied again, because this is a several day study,
Okay.
he would constantly come back up and say, "No, you don't understand. This is really changing my life." The
Mm.
study that we do, we use a book called Path to the Throne of God by Sarah Peck.
Okay.
Sarah Peck was Sister White's assistant,
Okay.
and she did some other things also in the Adventist church. One of the best books on the sanctuary. I would like to say this here because I wanted to, I thank 3ABN for giving us this opportunity to share a little bit about our ministry. We will go to any church in the United States.
Okay.
If we receive the first 5 calls from any church that said, "We want you to come maybe and do this sanctuary study at our, and I want to know more about it,"
Okay.
we would come absolutely free will offering,
Mm.
no charge.
Okay.
We're willing to take the sacrifice to do this because we know that it's changing lives, not only of new members, but seasoned Seventh day Adventist members.
Amen. Amen.
Actually, 3ABN allowed us to have a booth here.
Okay.
And that's what we're promoting here mainly is the sanctuary stuff.
Amen. Okay. Okay. And you also mentioned about this other part of the ministry that you're doing something to do with, is it camping or something like
Yes,
that? Can you share more about that?
I will tell a little bit about that. And the camping part, we do what's called missionary camping.
Mm,
And so
missionary
we're
camping.
planning on camping in every state in the United States,
Okay.
but we camp with a purpose. And
Okay.
that purpose is for sharing the gospel with
Mm,
others.
amen.
So
Okay.
whenever we camp, we will pray and we will ask God, help us to meet who He wants us to meet that particular day in that campsite.
Okay. Okay.
And so, one testimony that I would like to give to of this camping, missionary camping,
Hmm.
is that we went to North Carolina and we was camping in February.
Okay.
February is a cold month. You don't
Right.
have many campers.
Right.
But so we prayed as we was getting ready to do our Sabbath walk, and we asked the Lord, help us to meet who you want us to meet.
Amen.
And so as we began to leave, my wife said, take one of the children tracts with you this time. I normally don't carry children's tracts. It's other religious material.
Hmm.
But she said, take a children's tract. So I did. As we walked, we came upon a young lady who was she was cooking her lunch outside.
Okay.
And as she was doing the lunch and we was walking by, my wife waved at her and said, how you doing? She said, how y'all doing? And she walked down to where we was walking and began to talk.
Hmm.
As we began to talk to her, she began to share with us. She said that her husband and son was out walking. They would be back.
Hmm.
But then I think I shared something with her about God. And she began then to share. She said, you know what? After she had talked for a while, she said, you know what? On many occasions, I have thought about killing myself.
Mm-mm.
Immediately, I'm like fluid and I'm saying, Lord, what do you want me to say to this lady?
Right.
And as she continues on, she says, just last night, she said, I thought about killing myself. And so
Mm.
I'm still asking the Lord, give me the words to say.
Exactly.
And then after she finished with that, the Lord impressed me to say, Jesus died. She said, Jesus died. I could see her repeating my words
Mm.
with her lips. I said, Jesus died for you.
Mm.
And she
Amen.
said, Jesus died for me. I said, yes, that you might live. She said,
Mm.
I might live. Because she was speaking death to it because she said she wanted to kill herself.
Right. Right.
Jesus was telling me, no, speak life to her. And
Amen.
the one that can give her life is who? It's Jesus.
Jesus.
And
Exactly.
then Jesus told me, he said, tell her one more time, but say, Jesus died for you. I said, Jesus died for you. You could see her repeating it,
Hmm.
that you might live
Mm.
for him. And
Amen.
she said that. And so after that, we continued to talk. Her husband walked up with their son.
Okay.
And I introduced myself to him. And as I introduced myself to him, he introduced to me. And I handed him a children's tract. I said, this might be good for your son. He
Mm.
looked at it and immediately, because it was about David and Goliath,
Okay.
he looked at it and said, oh, my son likes this story.
Mm.
And he gives it to his son. Then
Mm.
he tells me and my wife, he says, you all come on over to our camper and eat with us. And we're going to fix you some pork chop. Yeah. And so me and my wife just kind of looked at each other and we were saying to ourselves without any words, we were saying, boy, the Lord is doing something here. And so we went over to their campsite, had lunch with them. They didn't give us any pork chop. We told them how we
Okay.
ate. And then we talked with them, though, for a long time. After about 2 hours of talking, her husband says, God sent you all. And we were
Mm.
talking about the scriptures because they was asking Bible question after Bible question.
Okay.
And we said, we know God sent us. And then we
Mm.
told them why. We told them, this is what we do,
Mm.
missionary camping.
Amen.
And so we talked with them for about 6 hours.
Okay. Okay.
After the talk, they said again, though, they were saying, no, you don't understand. God sent you all.
Hmm.
Of course, we said, we know.
Yes.
And then after that, actually, they lived in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
They came down to our place in Tennessee
Okay.
to a camp. We do camp meetings at our place, but they came down to our home in Tennessee, and we was able to have give them marriage counsel.
Mm. Amen.
And so, the Lord has really been blessing the ministry, but we do train others missionary camping.
Mm. That's good. I'm glad you guys are doing some training because more people need to learn about what you're doing. That's a
Yes,
blessing.
yes.
So here's another question for you. What's one testimony? Well, you shared us good testimony already about how things have,
Oh, yeah,
have
yeah.
made a difference. So how can our viewers connect with or support your ministry here after camp meeting?
After camp meeting, if anybody wants to connect with our ministry, Go Amen Ministry, it's a couple ways to do that. And one is I'm going to first give you a P.O. box where you can write us, and that will be P.O. Box 80371, Chattanooga, Tennessee 37414. You also could call us at 423 334 4314. And then an email account. Our email account is go amen now at gmail.com. Go amen now at gmail.com. Thank you.
Brother James, thank you very much for coming and sharing about what your ministry is doing. I'm sure that people are going to want to contact you and learn more how they can support and how they can learn more about what you're doing.
Thank you.
I really like this RV missionary work
Amen.
because that's like uh, an area where people, I don't know if anybody else is doing anything like
Exactly.
that, so I'm sure you're going to want to learn how to do that. Please contact Brother James so you can learn more about this. Well, we've got some more testimonies, some more ministry updates here at our video podcast here at 3BN Homecoming Camp Meeting. So please make sure you check it out. But until next time, God bless.
Amen.